Tag TV, and Tag Radio. Technology now has a voice of innovation and information. Get it on www.tagtvonline.com. Profound changes in the nature of technology, demographics, and the global economy are giving rise to powerful new models of production based on community, collaboration, and self-organization. Corporations, once solely organized according to strict lines of authority, employees subordinate to managers, marketers to consumers, producers versus supply chain subcontractors, companies to the community, while not vanishing, are in radical transformation. The impact of this new economic model already extends beyond software, music, publishing, pharmaceuticals, and other bellwethers to virtually every part of the global economy. The new mass collaboration, benign evolution of thought and creativity, or attack on the legitimate right and need of companies to make a profit. The birth of a new era of boundless innovation generated from a cornucopia of participation in the economy, or a threat to the soul, if not the very existence of entrepreneurship. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, January 29, 2008, and this, a very special Georgia Technology Summit edition of Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. In less than a month, this coming February 27th, the premier annual statewide technology event, the 2008 Georgia Technology Summit, presents as its keynote speaker internationally renowned authority and groundbreaking researcher on the impact of information technology on business and society, Don Tapscott, author of the best-selling book, Wikinomics, How Mass Collaboration Changes Everything. Voted one of the 10 best business books of the year in 2007, the Sunday Times called Wikinomics the new force that is bringing people together to create a giant brain. In the UK, The Guardian writes, everything from gold mining to motorcycle manufacturing is being transformed. Huge companies, as we know them, may simply cease to exist. Tapscott's breakthrough research and provoking new best-selling book has even impacted the World Economic Forum's annual meeting focus, the power of collaborative innovation, for its 2008 summit held just late last week in Davos, Switzerland, the very subject of Wikinomics. Don Tapscott, one of the world's leading authorities on business strategy, founder and chairman of international think tank New Paradigm. Acquired by BSG Alliance in November of last year, the Paradigm think tank company is now expanding syndicated research programs globally on Enterprise 2.0, Talent 2.0, Marketing 2.0, and Government 2.0, investigating strategies for winning through next-generation enterprises. Author of 11 widely acclaimed books on information technology in business and society, Don's new book, Wikinomics, How Mass Collaboration Changes Everything, is now an international bestseller in 20 languages. Finalist for the prestigious Financial Times Goldman Sachs Best Business Book Award, chosen by The Economist among many other publications as one of the best books of 2007. Researcher, author, teacher, and strategic leader, Don's clients list include top executives of many of the world's largest corporations and government leaders from many countries. Now, how to prosper in a world where new communication technologies are democratizing the creation of values, as Tino turns the Tech Talk to understanding what many experts are calling a major force revolutionizing business today and in the future, as he speaks with Georgia Technology Summit keynote speaker and amazing visionary author, Don Tapscott.
Don, thank you for joining me on Tech Talk.
My pleasure.
Why don't we start with the basics? What is Wikinomics, and what was your motivation to write the book?
Well, a wiki, of course, is a Hawaiian word that means quick, and it refers to software that enables people, large numbers, potentially, to co-edit documents on the web. But it's become a metaphor for something much bigger, for collaboration that can occur on an astronomical scale. And Wikinomics is a word that I guess I invented to describe the sort of theory and practice of how to harness this power of mass collaboration for innovation, for entrepreneurship, for growth, and for success. And I was motivated to write the book because my company had done a large multi-million-dollar research project investigating how the Web 2.0 was changing business models, and I thought that a book would be something that was helpful to large numbers of people, in addition to the small number of companies that each paid a couple $100,000 to join this program. So I was encouraged to work on evenings and weekends and come up with a book, and I had a great co-author, Anthony Williams, to help me do that.
Well, my sense is it's more than social networking, but would you refer to it as social networking, or social networking being an element of something broader in terms of mass collaboration?
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking it, because social networking is moving to the next stage, social production. And, yeah, sure, Time a year ago said, you are the person of the year. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Right.
I know you worked very hard to achieve that. Did all your listeners. But, sure, I was at the management of MySpace recently, and they're growing at, close to a couple of million members a week. They got over 220 million members. Facebook is probably growing faster. 85% of all college students are on Facebook. I was in Istanbul before Christmas, and I asked a business audience, of business execs, who here is on Facebook. 1,000 people. I got probably a third of the hands.
Wow.
There's a new blog created every second of the day, 24 hours a day. And Time says that you are the person of the year. But to me, all of that is so 2007, basically.
Right.
That this is no longer about hooking up online or creating a gardening community or putting a video onto YouTube. This, the new web is really becoming a new mode of production. And it's beginning to fundamentally change the way that we innovate, the way that we create goods and services, really the way that we orchestrate capability in society to do things. And as a result, it's changing the ways that companies engage with the rest of the world and the basic modus operandi of the corporation. So it is a big change that's underway here. I think it's probably the biggest change in the corporation in a century.
And what's the motivation? I mean, why is it happening?
Well, there are a number of factors that are coming together to create a perfect storm, if you like. You've got the new web, so-called Web 2.0, and this ain't your daddy's internet, as you might say in
right.
The old web was a very limited platform for the presentation of content based on a presentation standard. That's what HTML was. New web is based on XML, and it's not a standard for the presentation of content. .com talk about clicks and eyeballs and stickiness and page views and content is king and all the rest of that. The new web is a platform for computation. It's this global computational platform that's becoming enriched with services. And that means that every time you go on the internet, you're programming it, this giant global computer, in a sense. And it also means that we have a platform for people to collaborate. And so that's a huge driver. You got a technology push. And then there's a sort of pull from the new business environment for new kind of much more high-performance organizations. We got a kick, if you like, coming from a new generation of young people, a demographic revolution, kids that have grown up bathed in bits. And, this is the children of the baby boom. These kids are different. They have no fear of technology because it's not there. It's like the air to them. And then we've got, of course, the rise of an economic revolution, some profound changes in the deep structure and architecture of the corporation as we see the rise of these networked business models. So you put all that together, and you got your first Category 6 business revolution, basically.
Well, I appreciated your, in the book, you have some great references and stories there. You talk about Procter & Gamble and how they've changed their thinking about building different products and services. And I particularly was interested in the gold company in Canada, where you talked about the collaborative effort to find the gold. And are companies in general getting that, or are we still in the early adopter stage? I mean, is mass collaboration versus protecting your own? How's that all weighing out?
Well, in the introduction, that issue was raised, and about one of the themes of Wikinomics is sharing intellectual property. And you could make the case, as some have, that this is socialism. And you can see where people are coming from. I mean, right. Didn't Linux hurt Microsoft? Didn't MP3 hurt the record labels? Didn't Wikipedia hurt Britannica? If you take intellectual property and you place it in the commons, doesn't that undermine the legitimate right of companies to make a profit? And what we found in our research is sort of au contraire, that just like you have a portfolio of stocks in your mutual fund, so you need a portfolio of intellectual property, some that you own and protect, some that you might share within your business web or network, and then some that you actually place in the commons. I mean, IBM gave away hundreds of millions of dollars of its intellectual property to the Linux community, and in doing so, they created a platform upon which they built a multi-billion-dollar business. They saved themselves hundreds of millions of dollars a year in developing their own proprietary operating system, and they got to stick it to Microsoft along the way. So sharing IP is not about socialism, it's about beating your competition and being profitable. So this is these themes of Wikinomics, transparency is another one. Peering, that the uniquely qualified minds to do things are not inside the boundaries of your corporation necessarily. Right. Or acting global as opposed to thinking global and acting local. I mean, these are themes that are counter-cultural and counterintuitive, really, to many companies. So sure, what we've got is resistance in many industries. Leaders of old paradigms have great difficulty embracing the new. But I'll tell you, the examples throughout Wikinomics are not about .coms. They are about companies that build aircraft and mine gold and do things in very different ways.
Well, when you think about we're excited that you're coming here on the 27th of February to talk before we expect 800 or so people at our Georgia Technology Summit. And there, as we've previously discussed, this will be an IT audience. There'll certainly be a lot of tech-enabled company leaders there as well. For our listeners, and just to give them a taste, because I'm sure you'll be addressing this more in your keynote presentation, but how is Wikinomics going to change the technology industry?
Well, everything that applies to consumer products or gold or building aircrafts applies in some ways even more so to the IT industry. It's sort of been a lightning rod, really, for many of these changes, because the changes are themselves being driven and enabled by information technology. And I suppose some of the early storm warnings of the rise of open source, and that was, something like Linux is just the tip of the iceberg. There's 150,000 open source application projects underway today. We've got crowdsourced software like Cambrian House. There are idea agoras, or open markets for uniquely prepared minds, such as Top Coder has 150,000 programmers available for hire. None of them really know each other, but they've all got some IP that they'd like you to have. So, we've got the rise of prosumers, where you turn your own customers into producers. There are what we call open platforms, or Amazon has opened up its APIs, and there are 200,000 programmers creating application on top of the Amazon platform. Of course, when it comes to hardware and tech and the harder part of IT, computer companies don't make computers anymore. iPods are made by Foxconn, and there's a real division of labor change that's taking place. So all of this, that's just a little bit of what I want to talk about it. My talk is really as a technology company. How does Wikinomics help you better innovate, help you compete, help you grow, and help you win in the global marketplace?
Well, as I said, we're excited to have you come and be with us on February 27th. I know there's a buzz in our community that you'll be speaking here. So thank you, and thank you for joining me on Tech Talk today.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it. So we'll see you in Atlanta.
See you on the 27th.